Okay, well, hi everyone, and thank you very much for watching or listening. Liam Hartree back with you today with another episode of Presenting Champions for the Simply Inspired podcast. And today I am joined by a very special guest, former British boxing flyweight champion Shinny Bayaar. I hope I'm saying that the right way. This man achieved some great things in boxing, coming over from Mongolia to the UK to compete at a high level. Obviously, won the British title, now is training and coaching kids at his gym, Shinny's gym. So we'll be talking about that as well. Obviously, we'll be talking about the mindset that it takes to reach such a high level in professional boxing, one of the toughest sports in the world, as well as the physical aspect. We'll be talking about some advice for young boxers as well, talking about Shinny's gym, obviously some of his key fights, and a lot more. So stay tuned. And Champ, thank you. As I said before we started recording, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy training schedule for this. It's great to have you on the show, mate. Thank you.
Thank you very much inviting for me this interview, mate.
No problem at all. So, like I say, just now before we started recording, you were telling me a little bit about how things are going at the gym, some of the young prospects that you've got there that you're bringing on in boxing. So, can you tell us a little bit for our viewers and our listeners, a little bit about how things are going with some of the youth that you're training, the next generation, please?
Well, me got quite a few kids in my gym. Got two twin boys here, so it's a very funny thing is when they start with me was a very was a bit arrogant or very cocky kids, and then also there was just overweight kids was coming in. It's a bit annoying, and the first time I nearly kicked him out in the gym, and then I was like, you know what, let her give it another chance and go for it. And well, there was what about 71 kilo, and then they lost a lot. Now there's a 52 kilos. So both of them twin boys now start first few competed, done and dusted. Then the skill bouts did it in the first competing fight they done it, and I'm so just looking for another fight as well. Well, my perspective seeing is instead that they're overweight, is like a not really workable kids turn around as really workable kids nowadays. Yeah, they're developing themselves, like I say, bar boys, boxing, own like a little bit Instagram page. A lot of people follow him there. He's building his next career. Them kids wants to go join in sports university, learning like a possibly personal trainer, then maybe after competing, fighting, professional, then he going down to road, like say, end of it like me, coaching, stuff like that. So, they look after my career and then listen my story about tell them sometime they're looking good. And another kid called Jake, and then he's coming out to the Friday. He's like I said, he was started with tiny, tiny little kid coming. Now he's massive than me, bigger than me. Used to be, I play with him, sparring, just to touch his sparring. And then now I can't net it to him because he's too tall, too big for me. And then he's too bigger than me. So good to see, some of our kids developing, coming in on board and then taking seriously boxing and then watching after diets and losing weight. And also they are really, really good young kids now, good adults now, almost.
Absolutely. Well, like I was saying before, I mean, it's amazing work that you're doing, bringing on the next generation, obviously, in terms of boxing and competing. But as you know, as a trainer, in terms of discipline, in terms of these other things about life as well. A question about this in terms of working as a trainer and as a coach. When a young kid comes into your gym, can you tell right away if they have sort of the talent or if they'll go far in boxing? Or does it take a little bit of time to work with them and sort of figure them out a little bit from your perspective in terms of how far you think certain kids will go?
Well, it depends. It's a very individual sport, It's like me train like a team, and like I say, his team, and then how is you progress? How is you wanted? That's just a bigger thing, Some kids wanted, like I say, and two kids wanted lose weight first of all, then like his sparring, then thinking they said, you know what, me want to go for it, me want to be national school champion and stuff like that. And then me working on them and said, listen, you need to get them out, scale out and this. But it depends. Like some kids come in, you can straight away thinking, wow, we're just thinking, Jesus, this kid is like, whatever first thing he shows him, they just pick up like straight away. And some kids, it takes a long time to take it on, but once they get it, never forgot. It's this individual thingy. Like say, nobody can, like I said, nobody can can't be a mathematician, but they look after the wallet and stuff like that. I can't always say to people, I said, you can't be a boxer, but you need to learn the discipline, training and then the routine of your life, training and stuff like that. Once you're in the boxing gloves on once on it, you are actually really respectful persons. It's mad, isn't it? Like I said, there people said boxing gym, you can see so many different people in here. Like criminals and police and lawyers and bricklayers. It doesn't matter once you go train together, get the gloves on together. They are just the same human being. Like I said, kids, yes, you straight away see some of them talented kid. You can just thinking, wow, this kid awesome. You know it straight away.
Absolutely. But I like that though. I like what you say there because, well, as you know from your own gym, it's not always about competing. I mean, there's a lot of other benefits, like you say about the weight loss, or I've seen kids, where they're very shy, they're very not confident, they won't speak to anybody, but they go in the gym a couple of weeks, they're talking to people, and it obviously, yeah, boxing has benefits outside of competing. So very cool. I'm glad we got to give a mention. And I will say to our audience, any of you guys, if you're in Manchester, drop in and see this man, see Shinny, because it is an awesome gym. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Now, Champ, I'd like to go back in time a little bit, if that's okay, and obviously talk about some of your key fights as well, some of your big wins. And I think what I'm going to do is go back quite far in time for a moment to talk about your life in Mongolia, to talk about your transition from there to the UK. But can we go back to when you first started boxing in your home country, please? And can you tell us a little bit about what boxing was actually like over there for anybody who may not know about this in terms of the talent pool and in terms of what the boxing scene is like in Mongolia, please? Thank you.
Well, well, my dad was a boxer, so I never see him boxing because he's 6 foot. He's a big man, He's a middleweight and he's a big, and massive guy. And then Mongolia. Then he compare, and then when he had the tragic accident, car accident, my dad lost the, like lost the dislocated pelvis and everything. He got very bad injury, and then he stopped boxing. Then he started coaching. And then when I was a young kid, I took my dad to go and my dad training people or just running around, just watching what they're doing, And after that, and then my dad took me in a lot of different sports. He's like a really sporty man. He took me wrestling, basketball, ice, motorcycle, hockeys, and every stuff. And then he was a ref in as well in the boxing and in a lot of international competitions and things like that. Then one time I was go with him, and I always run around back room, and I was just like seeing that this guy was boxing, shadow boxing, and I was like, wow, who's this guy? I don't know who he was, to be honest. He was a two-time Olympic champion and a three-time world champion. He was a Cuban guy. It was a my way flyweight. Then when he walking in the ring, he was a gown on. I never see people wearing the gowns in my country. Just people come out, fight, and go. And then I was like, wow, this guy's special. Then I see him fighting. Oh my days! He was like, you can see every single muscle fiber's movement, and he was absolutely destroyed this Russian guy. And in competition, I was like, wow, I want to be like him. And then I asked my dad. I said, "You the coach, so you coach me." He said, "I'll teach you basic." And then he teach me my basic stance. He quite surprised I was standing southpaw. He was like, "Wow, you southpaw?" I said, "Well, this way is comfortable." Then he said, "Right." And then he teach me a little basic and took me to my first club in a like a army children's like a boxing club. And then over there, and then I trained by my coach, my first coach, properly. Then sparring and stuff like that. I quite like it because I'm quite speedy kid. Was I'm quite. I think there's quite good coordination. He picked it up very quickly, and the coach was quite like it. And then he was having a few fights with him. Then he was being a soldier. He finished his army duty, and then again off into my second coach come in, and me and him go more a lot of more fights, and I with him together, me winning a lot of schoolboy championship, junior championships, and stuff like that. Then after that, I joined to national like a student squad. When you go new student squad, it's like almost second biggest team in the country. So like a national team, then a student squad. So I was the same time a student in the National Sports University 4 years, and then a selected national team, and then winning the championship, stuff like that. So it all is that happens in. Um, my country, Mongolia, because we are, like a lot of things they were saying is a tough country, where Mongolians, warriors, Genghis Khans, the warrior bloods on them and things like that. My country very competitive. When you was a children, and the biggest sport Mongolia is the wrestling. So nobody bully you, but then if you go in the street, somebody grab you, wrestle, you can't take down straight away. If you do that, you weak, and then people try to bully you, But then you have to be fight back, and if you give us a good fair wrestle competition, you lose, people respect you. Then similar way we're doing it now, then it's really tough, go there, breaking the rankings, and then yeah, it's competing is hard. But I'd say till 10 till maybe 14, 15, I would just fun. Boxing is just fun for me. Go there training, sparring and competing. And then about 15, 16, you have to be considering about because you're like a national junior, finalist, and then you go to the call to the national team. So you have to be a little bit more careful than what you think about. It's just more likely hobby than you actually the proper sportsman, Then yeah, it was good. It was tough, but it is hard sport, but you learn it. Boxing, any other sport you can play, but boxing you can't play boxing either. Any fighting like MMA stuff like that, you can't play. So you have to be fight for it. You have to be also you have to be tough to be there. It's very different. You all see it, like say Mike Tyson the other day said before my fight I crying. Nobody knows that story till he tells it. He said I want to be ordinary people to the killer instinct to Mike Tyson. Nobody knows that one. It's interesting, isn't it? But our sport is boxing is like a biggest sporting into the country. So wrestling, boxing, and then horse racing, stuff like that. It's a shooting as well. Olympic is a boxing is a most like a rank highly ranked sports in the country. So top four they call it. Olympic top four they call it. And the boxing was one of them. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely amazing to hear about those early years because now obviously people see everything you've achieved, but when we go back and talk about those early years, I think that's inspiring for people who are starting out as well. Obviously you had your first professional fights there, but you came over to the UK, and I'd like to talk about that transition over to the UK to a new country and the new language. Now you know you have the accent a little bit, but I think in the beginning maybe it wasn't easy, and it's a very brave decision. I must say to go to a new place to chase your dreams. So I'd like to talk about that a little bit from what the transition was like for you, how you adapted to a new culture, and basically the memories that stay with you from that. Hopefully, some good ones, but I'm sure there were some struggles as well. So let's talk about that a little bit, please.
Well, when I turned in, I decided to give up a national team a year before my ending, last year before Olympic. I was just something politics, my coach and my other coach, other guys' coaches and all that. Just I lost a little bit hard boxing, amateur boxing. And then I decided to turn pro. Then I turned pro. I go to first Mongolian pro boxer and Lakfashim. Do you ever heard about him? Two times world champion. He was in the South Korea. I go follow him in like a 4 or 5 months in a train with him in South Korea. And I fight for WBC title in June 2008 in Manny Melcher. He was a three-time world champion. And then I was fight for in Filipino and then 40,000 crowd there is almost my biggest fight straight away to for WBC championship. I lost on the points. Then I come back in the UK at home. Then I decided to discuss my team, my dad, and then also is another guy who was a really good friend of my dad's friend. It was like a historical, like an architect, archaeologist. He's a history archaeologist, and then I discussed him. He said, "Where do you want to go now?" He's like, "Why not go to England?" And then Choi was already in here in Mongolia, from Mongolia. It was almost a year before me. I said, "All right, okay." Then talked to Choi. I said, "Listen, I want to come down to the UK." He said, "Well, your weight is very small. There's no many boxers here. It's very difficult." I said, "All right, okay, let's try." First of all, I'm Asian, and also I want to learn European style living and also the European style boxing as well. I made a decision to say, yeah, come and have a look at it. Be honest, I said, come and try it. Like I said again, it's try boxing, and then if you don't work it, I'll learn some language, cultural, and then make some money, maybe go on. That's what I was told. So, And then I comes in, doing boxing, sparring with Eddie Lewis. He was a world champion, a British Commonwealth. And then Jason Wolf, Nicky Wolf, and a lot of good boxers to spar with them. And then I was like, well, I'm actually in their level. I think I'm quite good, like I say, good boxing background, amateur background, like 10 years, over 10, 13 years amateur learnings is makes me in the mix in the champion guys spar with them. They're not really far ahead of me. I was thinking, you know what, I could win the British title. Anyway, then I have to be learning to language and then study British life in UK, citizenship, exams, preparing, then giving the exam and all that. All the way I learned it. And then I had a phone call coming, to fight for British title after when I was a British citizen. Then I said, yeah, go ahead. And then I won the fight. So yeah, it is a good thing, how many boxers even in this country, not even winning a Lonsdale belt. I'm not disrespect them. Only thing is, this is very, very hard when you go in there or selling the tickets, you can stay disciplined and things like that. Also, you got life, you have to be make yourself the living and very difficult. Pro boxing is pretty hard sport, but then I'm glad I did it. I'm touched the roof, like you go up there winning the Lonsdale belt, beautiful belt. I won it. So it is I think it's my biggest achievement, to be honest.
Absolutely. It's an amazing achievement. And as you say, something that a lot of people don't get the chance to do even when they're from the UK. So I know what you mean. And no disrespect, but it is an amazing achievement. I'll talk some more about the British title, the Lonsdale title, shortly. I want to touch on one other thing, though, is before that, I've read that you faced opposition to actually be able to fight for it. There were people saying maybe you shouldn't fight for it and everything. And I don't really want to focus on that, but more your mind during that time. How did you keep the faith or keep the belief that you would win it before, even when people were against you? Because obviously you were in a new country, as you say, new language. You were having these fights before that, wins, losses. So you really had to keep the belief strong in those early days. How did you do that against the opposition and against everything else that was going on, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Well, it's a mindset, new mindset. So if you focus on things, he said, I believe in every morning I'm running. I always dreaming I won in a British title. I just keep saying I can win this, I can win this, I can win this. I said I I already sacrificed my life to come be from Mongolian to British and then in here, different country, learn the language and then all other cultures and then wherever you go into my fights, I always give us a good fight, good, clean, honest fight. I'm trying to do it, and then sparring the champions and guys and all this my weight, different above weight, sparring with them. I said, I never like a shorter than them. You know what I mean? I can very given in competitive sparring and stuff like that. Said, you know what? I will win. I was before British title fight announcer. I was 2 years number one this country. Only reason because I'm not British, I can't fight. You know. So in that case, I should be winning British title 2007, if I'm honest. But because I wasn't British and then couldn't do anything about it, and I discussed with my team, my dad and parents, I said, yeah, you go ahead, you grab your dream because you want to step closer to be, the British champion. If you pass this exam, then you will be British champion. If you win the British champion, you will be next one Commonwealth and European, then next two more stages, you will be the world champion. I was like, yeah. So it was opportunity to be like British, then they open in three different belts, British, Commonwealth, to European. So that case is next biggest stage is a world stage. So I nearly was there. I did it. Like I said, I beat that time British championship fight. He was a Commonwealth champion too. So he only fight for British title because if it doesn't, then I should won a British and Commonwealth same night. But fight was pencil British. I'm not bothered about that. I want to try everything stage by stage. So one a British, then a rematch, possibly both belts down, the unification fight, British Commonwealth. That's what I was looking for, but it doesn't happen. You know, it is. But like I said, if you believe in yourself, thinking I can do it, and then you don't just believe in thinking I can get it, and then also you need to work hard, discipline. Stay focused. They said every single time. I used to be work two jobs, but my job finishing 11 o'clock, half 11. I lost the bus. I run from Manchester Piccadilly to Manchester Leamington. It's about like 10K, 12K. All day, 2 days job done it. I go home and run with it. I always knew I maybe missed the bus with my trainers. And you go run after two jobs all day, and then you go run back home 10, 12K, go sleep, shower, sleep. Next morning, get up and go back to job. It's tough. It was tough, but like I said, I did it. I did it because all of my mindset said, I will win this British title for me, to my dad and my country. As like I said, I'm a first ever Mongolian win the Lonsdale belt. That's achievement for me, to my country as well. My country, a lot of boxers come, like youngsters maybe come and do exactly what I did. They could do it, because they are warriors. They are really strong-minded people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, yes, I mean, it's a country of warriors. People have that strong will in Mongolia. But okay, so and when you won the British title, just to focus on that for a moment, people have seen the fight. I mean, the fight is out there. But again, focusing on you, your experience, when you had your hand raised and you knew that you'd won, I mean, you probably knew you had won at some point during the fight, but when it was actually confirmed, can you describe the feeling? Can you describe what goes through your mind or your heart in a moment as special as that?
Well, I had my boy was just before born. The same day fight was penciled. It's the 8th of July. And so soon as my wife just had a phone call, it was me and my wife and my mother-in-law was there have a breakfast, and my manager rang me and said, right, I got your fight day. And I was like, whoa, really? They said, yeah. And then he told me, it's the 23rd of October, you fight for British title in Bolton. I said, oh, okay, cool. And then my phone down, my wife said, oh, I think I got in labor. And then same day, my boy born. Then fight before I was going leave my house, I said, I just kissed my son's head. He said, listen, I will bring this belt for you, son. I no matter what, if they knock me clean out, could happen. But I said, no matter what, I will till my last breath to right bringing this belt to my son. So that's why I promised myself to kiss my son's head. He said, listen, daddy will bring you this belt. So I did it. I did it. So it's a plan as well. We got plan for the fight. What can you do? And then round four, we got caught. And then I was just said to my manager, I said, I go for it, knock him out. He said, listen, if this you got caught already, if the fight now stops at any time, it'll be cut off. So he said, stay to the plan, stay behind the jab. It's a boxing. You could much better skillful boxer than him. He said, don't lose it now. You winning. I know you win in 4 rounds, but stay behind the jab, stay disciplined. That's just a hard thing to you doing, and you want to knock out the big win, but you can't because the fight to stop at any time, and then I will be lose my chance to be champion. That's why I was stayed the discipline under 8 round. Have to be boxing. That was the hardest thing, but I did it again. So that's the thing. Is another You have to be stick to the plan. You have to be stay focused. That's another thing as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's very good life lessons in this as well, which is a big part of why I do these interviews is to try and pass on the knowledge from great people like yourself. Now, one of the things about this, obviously winning the British title was a very big deal and is a very big deal in Britain, in the UK. But what was the reaction like from Mongolia, from your countrymen, from people over there in the boxing world, who were aware of your win? Did you get many congratulations from them?
Like is alive. You got my close friend, families, and on your some people said, "Well done, you done it, you done it. You go in, you're leaving away country. A few years ago, you said you won the British title. You promised you can win it, but you did it. But there's some said you are, you know, you shouldn't be a pro boxer. You shouldn't be leave the national team first place. And some people doesn't like it. It's a life. You can't please anyone. But somebody jealous or maybe doesn't like you no matter what. Some people said you shouldn't be doing this. Like here, yeah. I got two both sided things heard it. But like I said in the interview, I said some people doesn't really like it, and then some people like it. But it's their decision. They're told. My decision is my decision. I want to be my own life, do what I want. Won the British and then move on to next stage, won the big world title. Change my life around it and stuff like that. This is my life, my decision. I don't matter whatever they said it doesn't affect me at all. It's hard when you told think about somebody thinking about you traitor or whatever. It's hard, but what can I do? You want to grab your dream, you need to be ignore somebody sometime.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, you can't please all the people all the time. I mean, you have to do what's in your heart and everything. I mean, and like I said earlier, it's a very brave decision. There's a lot of bravery in coming to a new country, facing the opposition and winning, proving what you can do. It takes a lot of courage to get in the ring, obviously, itself. But I think in your life, there's a lot of courage in other areas, taking those risks and doing those things. Um, so obviously the British title is a very proud moment for you and a massive part of your legacy. Are there any other fights as well as that you look back on that are very special to you, that are particularly important to you, that you would like to mention as well as the British? Because I would love to talk about every fight, don't get me wrong, but we'd be here till next week or something. So I think it's best to think of it in your words, the ones that you look back on the most fondly and are the most special to you in your memory.
Well, I was a fight for national juniors championship is my biggest enemy and me in the fight, and then in a junior championship final, and then the second round I stopped the body shot. I was he got me, and then I dropped the knee, and then I couldn't beat the count. I lost in a, you know, that is still I regret it nowadays. It's a hard thing to swallow till you lose it. Is your biggest next thing in that this guy is best in the country, she never will be second best. Me like that rivalry there, but then I lost in the final in body shot. Like now, still now, I would just give me said the kids teaching is, said, listen, kids, you just keep just hunting the headshots. Sometimes people take a headshots, but a body shot, it sucks your energy out badly. You can easily maybe knock down people down in a body shot, and then you think about it, it's like that. I'm still that is my one of the hardest lose if I say that. So that's the way I'm teaching the kids thinking, try to protect yourself all the time, train hard and things like that. So that was, well, yeah, one of the life lessons is a hard fight I lost. But next fight, I beat him as well, He was in the senior championship semi-final. I actually beat the guy. So you can lose, but you can win again, So you learn the mistake, learn the bow down and then come back and next fight I win him. That's just special to me, especially knocked out badly and then I win him back in that fight. That's a good fight for me as well. And then yeah, and then I was fighting a very first boxing. Pro boxing was very very new to the country, and then I was on the first few pro fighters to my country as well. And then my one of my fight, I won the very very first Mongolian pro boxing championship. I win by knockout second round, so that's just very special to me as well. So like I said, my name, I got first ever Mongolian pro boxing, like a Queensbury belt. There's a very first one. I have that one, and then a first Lonsdale belt the holder as well. So I mean, yeah, my name, I got two very first Mongolian win this two belts. So it's a big achievement for me that fight too.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, you're part of history, and it's a very proud legacy that you have. And as we move towards the latter part of this talk today, I'd also like to get some of your advice for young boxers who are starting out, because I know if people want to learn from you everything, they should come and see you physically. But with this talk today, we have the opportunity to put this out around the world everywhere so people see in different places. So if there was maybe, this question is too big for everything to talk about, but if there was maybe one or two things that you would like to share with young boxers that they need to do, and maybe one or two things that they need to avoid, so on both sides, the good things they should do, the bad things they shouldn't do, absolutely essential. Like with cooking, you have the essential ingredients, particularly for the ones starting out watching this anywhere in the world. What would be some very key or essential pieces of advice you would say to those people, please?
Well, when I was a young kid in the boxing, my coaches always said, is a watch out, like say, watch out, alcohol, partying, smoking, all bad habits need to get away from your life. So I give it them exactly same again. He said, yes, you could be have a good friends. It is a hard. Your friends having a party and drinking and smoking, whatever. Sometimes you're even a cool kid, but this is if you want to be a sports person, you need to get off of them bad habits. And also you need a good rest and go your lessons as well. Don't only chasing things of boxing, you need to knowledge as well, because like I say, I believe that in if I haven't learning or knowledge like sports university, I can't be coaching. I don't know how you explain the kids the coaching points and this planning sessions and the stuff like that. I couldn't be doing. So I would say educate yourself, read a lot, and then also train hard, dream big. You always catch the small fishes, like I say it. So another thing is these days the kids want to do things very don't want to make an effort in it, wants to be everything easily. Please, that's never works. Maybe works for financially, make some money, stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say in the sports, you need working hard. You need to sweat a lot, bleed a lot, train hard, listen to your coaches. That's another thing. Respect your coaches, respect your places where you're training, and then also, respect your sparring partners. Yeah, they're human being. But bigger thing is, if you believe in yourself, dreaming it and thinking, I want that, you will do it. But only thing is, when you dream it, if you don't do nothing, it never happens. It. But bigger thing is, like say, train hard, stay disciplined, get over the fatties, get over the alcohols, and just train hard as you can. Learn every single day. Don't miss your training sessions except you badly ill. That case is explaining your coach said, I'm sorry, I can't come in, because the reason is I got very bad illness there, or maybe life is life, maybe having some family issues and things like that. It's okay. But if you can't come in training in the gym, you can go out there, go outside the running, make something happen. Don't miss your training session and then learn every single day. Improve by small. Don't try and a big jump on it. But just the smaller steps, better. Smaller step, steady, and then you stay to the plan and go from there. Like I said, listen to your coaches. That's the bigger thing. I done it. I listened to my coaches. Now I'm set to kids. I said, listen me, and then go from there, and then listen to your other coaches if you have ever coached by somebody else. They must be done it. So listen, they only thing is I made it a mistake, lost my body shot. That's why I'm trying to keep teaching the kids avoiding the body shot, get punch the body shot, avoided them. Same thing. I wanna be don't wanna they made it exactly the same mistake I did it. That's all I'm saying is dream big, stay focused and get off these bad habits, train hard as you can. You will improve all the time then. That's what I try to say.
Absolutely. Well, it's powerful advice from somebody who's been there and done it. And it's great advice for boxing, but it's also great advice for life, I think, so it's absolutely wonderful. Well, champ, I would like to thank you very much for your time today. I would like to thank you very much for your openness in sharing these things about your life. I know it's not everything about your life, but for this interview, I just wanted some fun stories from your fights and some life lessons that you've learned, and we ticked those two boxes, as they say. We accomplished those two things very much. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for being an open book, as they say. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Invite, for this in your podcast and good luck to your next interviews.
Thank you. And good luck with everything with your gym as well. I look forward to seeing your posts on the social media and everything about your progress there. I will send you this interview when it's released as well. So if you want to use it for anything to help promote your gym or anything, you can. Before you go, I'm just going to take a quick photo of us, if that's okay, just so I can post it
Yeah,
on
that's
there.
fine.
There we go. Thank you. Okay,
Brilliant.
well, you have a great day. Good luck with everything and keep in touch anytime. Thank you very much for your time, champ. Thank you.
Once again, thank you for inviting me your interviews and podcast, and good luck to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.